What's up guys, Justin here of Yugatech, and Realme has been bolstering its affordable C lineup over the past few months. There's the Realme C3 in March, followed by the Realme C11 in July, then the Realme C15 in August. They didn't stop there though, and released the Realme C12, also in August. The C11, C15, and C12 are all powered by a Helio G35 chipset from MediaTek. So where do we place the Realme C12 in this lineup? Well, let's find out. So the first thing you'll notice about the Realme C12 is its size. At 164.5mm, it's a tall device. Chunky too at 9.8mm. But there's a good reason for that, which we will discuss later. It's a good thing that Realme kept it narrow so it can still be easily gripped. The front houses a 6.5-inch display along with a noticeable mini drop notch. Meanwhile, on the left side is a triple card tray for 2 nano SIM cards and a micro SD card that's expandable up to 256GB. On the right, you'll find the volume rocker and power or lock button, while below are the 3.5mm headphone jack, main microphone, micro USB port, and the loudspeaker. Flip it on its back and you'll see the almost flush triple camera module together with a fingerprint scanner and some Realme branding. The Realme C12 feels hefty, and that's because it's carrying a 6000 mAh battery. Still, it's a joy to hold thanks to its smooth edges and narrow frame. The body is made out of polycarbonate material, which is fine as it helps in keeping the device lightweight. While the back is textured with some geometric lines, which repels fingerprints and smudges well. Overall, it's a solid and well-made device even for an entry-level phone. Focusing on display, the Realme C12 sports a large 6.5-inch screen with an HD+ resolution and a pixel density of 270 pixels per inch. For protection, it has Corning Gorilla Glass. If you're not nitpicky when it comes to spotting pixels, this should be fine. It's not even noticeable when viewed from a normal distance. The IPS panel also provides natural colors and good viewing angles. The brightness is good enough for indoor use but a bit lacking, especially if you're using it outdoors. Nonetheless, this display can get really dim to the point that the screen looks turned off. When it comes to audio, the single loudspeaker is fine for most uses. We enjoy watching YouTube and Netflix on it and some casual listening on Spotify. The audio quality is crisp and loud, but there's no bass, which is expected. For a better listening experience, a Bluetooth speaker or headphones is still recommended. You can also use your favorite wired earphones since it has a 3.5mm headphone jack. Under the hood, powering the Realme C12 is a MediaTek Helio G35 chip with a PowerVR GE8320 GPU and 3GB of RAM. It's almost the same configuration as the Realme C15, so we're getting the same level of performance. If you're planning on mostly using it for taking photos, browsing social media, or watching videos for streaming apps, this phone can do it smoothly. It can also handle gaming, but you'll have to lower your graphics settings if possible to get a better gaming experience. If you want to see some numbers, we'll flash the benchmark scores now. Talk about software, the Realme C12 is running on Realme UI version 1.0 based on Android 10. It's a nice looking and easy to navigate interface with support for dark mode and colorful icons. It's loaded with features like Realme Share, Phone Manager, Game Center, Game Space, Realme Link, App Cloner, Split Screen, and Hey Tap Cloud. There's also pre-installed apps, and these include the usual Google services and some of Realme's tools. Meanwhile, third-party apps include Agoda, Facebook, and Lazada. The unit we have has 32GB of internal storage, and it's a rather limited capacity. But if you're planning to store plenty of files, you'd be glad that it has a dedicated slot for a micro SD card. Highlighting its mega 6000 mAh battery capacity, you can easily get 2 days on this phone on light to moderate use. This is basically a power bank as it supports reverse charging too. In the PC Mark's battery test, it got a total of 17 hours and 21 minutes. Meanwhile, in our standard video loop test, it yielded a long 25 hours and 32 minutes of playback. Charging, on the other hand, is slow as it only supports 10 watts charging. For cameras, the Realme C12 is equipped with a triple camera system consisting of a 13-megapixel primary, a 2-megapixel black and white, and a 2-megapixel macro. It would have been nicer though if they included an ultra-wide lens, but this should be enough for most users. Standard image quality is good, especially in bright conditions with punchy greens, reds, and blues. The portrait mode can also produce an artificial background blur. It's not perfect, but it's good enough to remove the focus on unwanted background objects. For low light shots, it is decent enough thanks to its night mode. Details are present but can be still muddy at times. On the other hand, selfies are handled by a 5-megapixel shooter. Although noticeably there's not a lot of resolution to go around, still the resulting images look sharp with natural skin tones. And when it comes to video recording, the realme C12 can shoot up to 1080p at 30 frames per second. Comparable to the images, the footage looks sharp with nice contrast and punchy colors. There's no stabilization, so shakes are noticeable. Alright, finally let's talk about price. The realme C12 is basically an improved C11 but with a 2-megapixel black and white sensor, rear fingerprint scanner, and 6000 mAh battery as we've seen in the C15. In terms of pricing, it stacks between the C11 and C15 at 5,990 pesos. So if you're eyeing the C11 and can stretch the budget for 1,000 pesos, then the C12 is the best option. It's a great entry-level device for those who want a large screen, decent cameras, and a very good battery life. So that's it for our realme C12 full review. Let us know what you think about this phone in the comments. And if you enjoyed this video, be sure to drop a like, subscribe to our channel for more content, hit that bell icon so you don't miss any future uploads, and be sure to visit yugatech.com for the latest tech news and reviews. Once again, this is Justin, and don't forget to wash your hands and stay at home.